Welcome back to Melody Guitar Book 2. This book focuses on learning how to read and play melodies in standard music notation. You can watch all these videos for free, but it's going to be a lot easier to learn if you have your own copy of Melody Guitar 2 that you can read from and write in. Plus, you can feed a music teacher, so I'll leave a link in the description. We're on page 90, and this is the last lesson in Melody Guitar 2. In this lesson, you're going to learn the sharps and flats up and down the 6th string and the blues scale. Once you're finished with Melody Guitar 2, the next logical step would be to move on to Melody Guitar Book 3. In Melody Guitar 3, you're not going to learn any new notes, but you're going to learn new scales, time signatures, rhythms, and the melodies are going to get more difficult. And then if you're still with me after Melody Guitar 3, I do have one more melody book. That'll be Melody Book 4. The melodies in that book are not as tricky, but what we're going to be doing in that book is learning how to play melodies up and down the neck. Of course, there's more to playing guitar than just melodies like chords, so you might want to check out my rhythm guitar books for chords. Now, if you just finished Melody Guitar 2, you do not need to play through Rhythm Guitar Book 1. That's super simple, easy beginning chords with just 1 or 2 fingers. You might want to check out Rhythm Guitar 2, but you might be beyond that as well. Rhythm Guitar 2 focuses on open chords, strumming, and fingerstyle patterns. After that, we have, of course, Rhythm Guitar 3. That takes a very deep dive into movable chord shapes, so you can play them all over the neck. And if that's a little too much for you, you can check out my book, First Movable Guitar Chords. It's more bite-sized, about 30 pages, focusing on 8 movable chord shapes that are commonly used. And then you also might want to check out 3-note jazz guitar chords, which is exactly what it sounds like, 3-note chords called shell voicings that work especially well in jazz and blues. I'll leave links for all my books in the description. One of your ongoing assignments has been to practice the minor pentatonic scale that you learned on page 26 and to play it starting on different notes up and down the 6th string. So by now, if you've been doing that, you should know your natural notes up and down that 6th string. That'll be E as your open, F, G, A, B, C, D, and E. Now that you've learned about sharps and flats, we can fill in the gaps between those natural notes. So if this is an F on the 1st fret, an F sharp will be 1 fret to the right. There's my G. G sharp is 1 fret to the right. There's my A. A sharp is 1 fret to the right. There's my B. Technically, a C is a B sharp, but that gets a little confusing. So remember, B and C are always next to each other. So there's my B, there's my C. Then C sharp, 1 fret to the right of that. And then D. D sharp is 1 fret to the right, and then our E. And you can think the other way as well. So if this is my E at the 12th fret, this will be my E flat, 1 fret or 1/2 step to the left. D, D flat, C, B, remember C, B next to each other. There's my B, so there's my B flat, A to A flat, G to G flat, F, and then my open E. And E and F are next to each other as well, so technically you could call that F flat if you like, that open string, but it's much easier and less confusing, at least for right now, just to call it an E. We're going to use that information to name any note on the 6th string as our starting note for our minor pentatonic scale that you learned on page 26 and the blues scale here at the bottom of page 90. This blues scale is very, very similar to the minor pentatonic scale. As a matter of fact, if we put them up side by side, you'll see there's just 1 note's difference. So here's a minor pentatonic scale. Let's make it an A minor pentatonic. And our blues scale. So we added a note on the 5th string between 1 and 3, and we added a note on the 3rd string after finger 3. That's 1, 3, and 4. Aside from that, this is the same as the minor pentatonic scale. So beginning on the 6th string, we have fingers 1 and 4. On the 5th string, we have 1, 2, 3. 4th string, we have 1 and 3. 3rd string, we have 1, 3, 4. 2nd string, 1, 4. 1st string, 1, 4. Then play the other way, back to 1. 2nd string, 4, 1. 3rd string, 4, 3, 1. 4th string, 3, 1. 5th string, 3, 2, 1. And 6th string, 4, 1. With the addition of the blues scale, this is what your warm-up should look like right now. And I'm just going to play through these real quick. We've got our chromatic scale from page 52. We've got the C major scale from page 27, starting on your low C, playing up to your A above the staff, then playing back down past your low C to your low E, your open E, and then returning to the C. We've got our single string major scale that you learned on page 75. This is working on incorporating that whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half step pattern, starting on any string, any fret. I'm going to start on string 3, fret 2. So there's our starting note, and then count whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. We have the E minor pentatonic scale that you learned at the end of Melody Guitar Book 1. We've got the minor pentatonic scale that you learned on page 26. And now that you've learned your sharp and flat notes, make sure you start the scale on some sharp and flat notes. For example, let's do an A flat minor pentatonic. So if this is my A at the 5th fret on the 6th string, my A flat will be 1 fret to the left or 1 half step lower on the 4th fret. And finally, we have the blues scale that you learned here on page 90. Just as with the minor pentatonics, make sure you start on sharp, flat, and natural notes. And I'll just do an A flat blues here. Your final assignment for this book is to add the blues scale to your warm-up and memorize it, and make sure you play your blues scale and minor pentatonic scales starting on natural, sharp, and flat notes. Congratulations on finishing Melody Guitar Book 2, and I'll look forward to seeing you in Melody Guitar Book 3. And don't forget to check out my chord books, whichever one you're ready for: Rhythm Guitar 2, Rhythm Guitar 3, First Movable Guitar Chords, or 3-Note Jazz Guitar Chords.